What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? We back in the studio. Feel good to be back in the studio. Sometimes you got to be gone for a little bit so you can miss things and then everything can go well. So what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? I see the goofies is in the chat doing what they do with weird profile photos. Let them rock. Let them rock. Their comments matter too. It adds into the algorithm, and so we appreciate them. I see my Room 9 family in the building. What up, Tiffany J? We back in the studio. See, Leslie Aaron, sometimes you have to be gone from the studio so that people can learn to appreciate it. It's raining in the ATL. Shout out to the ATL. Shout out to the ATL. My lawn care bill is so high. I don't know what that is. Urban Singh, what up, though? Good morning, Anton and the Chaser said, what up, Onaka? Dan in the building. Man, that Tory Lanez footage was insane. Boy, lucky to be alive. That's a fact. Long way ENT. Moses King, what's happening? Your car is in the building. What's up? I'm back in the studio, Azriel. Yeah, the Pacers is going to the finals all day long. It's going to be Pacers and Oklahoma City. It's going to be a good series. It's going to be a great series. One of the most unpredictable playoffs that I've experienced in a long time. King Ali TV says I cut my own grass against my will. Yeah, I seen my neighbors. Well, one of my neighbors on my right hand side, he decided to order a lawn service because my grass is looking crazy good. my grass is looking like what they call it, Kentucky bluegrass or something like that. My grass look crazy good. I pulled up to the house. I said, "Ooh, wee, this is worth every dime that I'm paying for it. Worth every dime." So the one neighbor on the one side, he after the lawn care people leave, I see he hired his own lawn care service, so he trying to catch up. You know, this is how it is when you get 40 plus. You start playing lawn wars. You get out of the young dude game. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer concerned about whether or not he got that block or he trying to talk to your girl. We in lawn wars now. We not on that. We on a whole nother time. This is lawn wars. You know? Wolves in 7. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. On your way to film for a YouTube show, I like that. I like that. After Hours was wild, as usual. As usual. I want to go to the Kentucky Derby. It's a lot of things that's on the bucket list that I'm adding to the bucket list. I seen the neighbor in the backyard. He had the hand lawnmower. Took him about 25 minutes to do his grass. His junk was looking dusty, dusty, dusty. And then I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she's about to be a senior in high school. Yay! Congratulations to Anton. She's about to be a senior in high school. And me and my daughter, we have this connection. It's the same type of connection that I had with my father. It's crazy. Y'all need some strong fathers in your children's lives. For those of you that say that you just want a co-parent or you could do better by yourself. No, you can't. No, you can't. You cannot do better by yourself. Stop letting these people lie to you and convince you that you could do better by yourself. You cannot. You cannot do better by yourself. And so I was talking to my daughter because she came in from Taekwondo, and I was going to like do some maintenance. I had to pull one car out of storage because one car went to maintenance as far as like going to the dealership. And then I had to drop another car off to maintenance for the dealership, or at least schedule the maintenance so Rita can go and drop the car off to the dealership today. And she got home from Taekwondo and she came out to the car. And so she was like, Dad, how do you, because she couldn't figure out how to start the 911. Very simple. It's a turn. It looked like a key goes into it, but it's standard, is locked. And so when you hit the brake pedal and then you turn the key, similar to a push button, except for you actually turn the key on a 992. And I showed her and she was like, oh, okay. And she said, where you about to go? I said, oh, I'm about to go and make sure that the tires is fully inflated and go and get a wash. And then I'm about to take a ride. She said, all right, can I come with you? So she jumped in the passenger side. And she said, and so I hit, like I drive my cars. I really drive my cars. And so she was like, oh, I didn't even know this had paddle shifters. So I'm helping her to understand the difference between the flat six and that it's turbocharged and downforce. And I was showing her that I wanted to get the new GT3 RS, and the wing comes out when you put it in sport mode. And so I started teaching her how when you get it to certain revolutions per minute, that this is where you want to shift at. You want to shift right before you hit the red line. And certain cars got 7,500 revolutions per minute and all of that stuff. And so we started talking cars and gears, and she's a gearhead, right? But the main experience that she's had is with V8s, American Muscle. She's always been in the Dodges. And so she's real heavy in the Dodges. She researches the Cudas and all of that stuff. And so she was learning about the flat six with the Porsche 911. And we was talking. She said, Dad, I didn't know you was into cars as much. I didn't know that you was really heavy into, the cars and all of this. And I said, Les, I've been in the cars way before you was born and all that. So we talking. And then the conversation over about an hour, because we have been ratting for about an hour, the conversation transitioned into expectations for her. And she asked me, she said, Dad, what are your expectations of me? She said, because you're really nice, but then at the same time, you get on me sometimes. What are your expectations of me? And I said, Leslie, I have really huge plans for you. Really, really, really huge plans for you. Really big. And she said, what do you mean? I said, there's things that I haven't told you. I said, like, for example, I was contemplating possibly building you a house for you to use as rental income so that you can get your feet wet, so you can really start to understand the business that I'm in and why I'm building houses and all of this stuff. I said, but I can't do that unless you do this, this, this. And I try to teach you this, and I don't always tell you why I tell you, or I'm on you about this particular thing, but I need you to do this, this, and this. And then I started explaining to her how it's important for her to understand that life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. And you need to control the controllables. It's not about whether or not people do stuff to you. It's not about whether or not people get on you. It's not about whether or not your mom is holding you accountable or this and that, or whether or not she getting on you about getting up in the morning. I said, when I was your age, my parents stopped waking me up in the morning because they understood that it was time for me to start making sure that I did what I was supposed to do. My parents never checked my report card past 10th grade because they didn't really care about whether or not my grades were sufficient. The expectation was for me to be on top of it. I didn't need their approval anymore. I said, you got to stop seeking my approval. You got to stop seeking the approval of your mother. You have to be in a space to where the approval that you seek is from God, and it's beyond just your parents. I said your parents is the bridge between you and God. We are supposed to raise you in the admonition of God, but at some point, you got to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do because it's just the right thing to do, not because you're afraid that you're gonna get in trouble, not because your parents told you to. I'm not waking you up for school anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing that. I'm doing so. I was raising the bar for her and raising expectations for her. But for me, that was the best part of my day. Of all of the things that I've done over the past week, Memorial Day and Movement Festival and traveling to this place. I don't even where I traveled, San Juan, Puerto Rico. It was that 1 hour that I spent with my daughter and the conversation and the satisfaction that came along with actually building and creating a responsible young lady that ultimately has been the apple of my eye and is hopefully going to be adding value into this earth in a better way than I ever could. That was the real blessing that came along with my day. It was incredible. And there is no point to this story. There is no point to this story. Usually, when you hear me do like a monologue or I'm telling you about my day and stuff like that, you usually will see me saying, this is the point and this is what you got to do. There is no point to the story. I'm just telling you that it made me feel good. It made me feel good. I was very happy. Very, very happy with how she turned out. Very, very happy with the decision. I only have one child. Very, very happy with the fact that she is very mature and she is a good young lady and she not out here twerking and she don't have the bonnets on. Um, very happy. I'm just very satisfied. That's it. That's it. Very happy. Very, very satisfied. So that's all. That's all I wanted to say. Is that I love her and I appreciate her and I love the fact that she checks in with me every single day and she wants to every single gold medal that she wins, she come and she put it around my neck. And I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful. I just want to make sure that I acknowledge God that I have lived a phenomenal life and I very much expect to live 80, 90 years on this earth. But up to this point as a 43-year-old man, God could not have blessed me with a better life. No matter what I've been through, no matter what things is going on right now, today, on May 28th, 2025, year of our Lord, um, I give God praise and honor for just being blessed. I am so blessed. Anyways, y'all ready to get started with the show? What up to my dog, Slimmy? Maybe there is a lesson in this. Ladies, choose very carefully who you decide to make the father of your children. Choose very carefully, vet effectively who you choose to make the father of your children. That's the lesson. That is the lesson. Y'all ready to get it popping? You know what I love most about this show? And then we'll go ahead and read some of the super chats and the cash apps. I think that the show has evolved a little bit. The show has evolved and that I'm not necessarily into putting together a show. I just want to stream. I just love what I do. I just love streaming. I do. This is the one time. Maybe I'll change the name of the show. Abbreviate it. No longer make it the Millionaire Morning Show. Just make it the show or something. Cause just kicking it with y'all and talking about things, I'll probably just keep it as the Millionaire Morning Show. But I don't look at this as a traditional show. I look at this as an opportunity for me to talk about different subjects, but to express my thoughts and then interact with the co-host of the show, who is you guys. You guys are the co-hosts of the show. Shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. Thank you for always rocking out with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me also say tips for vetting more effectively, AD. Marry your best friend. I tell women that all the time. You are able, and I say that don't date. It's simple. Don't date. Stop dating. Y'all keep dating. Y'all keep getting finesse. Y'all keep letting these guys. I know a girl. I know a girl. And every time I talk to her, she'll say, yeah, and it's some really nice people, some really nice guys that came up to me and this and that and this and that. And I have to tell her, I say, listen, those are not nice guys. She said, why did you say that? I said, because I know his background, for example. I said, that guy's in the streets and this is what he into and this and that and this and that. And she'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I said, yeah, I know. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then another guy I had ran into another guy, or whatever, and we was hanging out. And the guy was like, oh yeah, I tried to talk to you at this particular place or whatever, so on and so forth. And her eyes got real big. And I said, yeah, what was she like? What was she about or whatever? And she was like, oh yeah, she wasn't really she wouldn't, let nobody come up to her or whatever. But the point that I'm making to answer your question about vetting effectively is everybody is going to put on a front for you and they're going to put their best foot forward when they first meet you. And so most of y'all are wasting your time because you interact. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be interactive with people that come up to you because getting outside is a real thing. But stop being so quick to rush to get into a situationship because you're desperate to have a man in your life or you desperate to have a woman in your life. Because in that desperation, you're going to overlook a lot of things that you wouldn't normally overlook because you like the person. And that's that, a lot of times I tell people and I say, well, listen, women don't have rules for men that they like. And it's because where you are scrutinizing every single thing about the guy that you're willing to settle for, you don't scrutinize the same way for the guy that you like. And you overlook a lot of things because you're so desperate to be with him. And so what'll happen is you'll say that, oh my God, all men are bad, or he left me with this and that. And then it's not. It's just because you had on beer goggles and you couldn't see clearly. And he was always a street dude, or he was always a hood dude, or he was always, you know what I'm saying, a lifetime felon. He was always going to be in the streets, or he was always going to do this. You just thought that you can change him because you was praying to God and you kept trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And you overlooking the guy that's supposed to be with you because he your best friend. He the person that's been around you the whole time. You've been able to vet him without even trying to vet him, and he's organically still been in your life. That is the person that is supposed to be your husband, and that is the person that you're supposed to be with. That's who you have children with. The person that loved you, even though he hasn't been with you, that is the guy that you're supposed to be with. But unfortunately, for a lot of women, they overlook the guy that they're supposed to be with, and they choose the dude that they're not supposed to be with, and then they try to come back to the guy and save him. But this is not Saving Private Ryan. This is not Forrest Gump. This is not Bubba Gump Shrimp. You're not going to be able to get Tom Hanks in the end. You can't have Tom Hanks in the end. That's how you vet. You already know him. Most of y'all already know the person that you're supposed to be with. You let your homegirl talk you out of your position, and she just won't him. She don't even want you to have him. She actually want him to like her, but he like you, and you overlooking him because she talking you out of your position. Dummy. Trying to impress people that ain't even gonna be in your life, and the person that's really there for you, the person that's supposed to be with you, you overlook them every single day. You got a limited amount of time because one day he gonna wake up and realize his value and that he deserved better than you. One day he's gonna wake up and say, I deserve better than her. What am I doing chasing this little big head thing for? She ain't even got no edges no more. There's plenty of women with edges trying to holler at me. I'm always doing side quests, Rashawn. That's why I like this show, because I could do side quests. All right. If y'all don't want to know, if y'all don't want to know, then stop asking me questions. Deacon Weezo says, I would love to start the show off with a prayer. Nah, you're going to have to change your profile photo first. I don't even take you serious. I'm going to start off with a prayer, but I don't even take you serious. I was just about to pray too. Big Birthday shout out to my daughter who turned 15 today. Yeah, very proud of her. Model student and young lady. What up, dog? You're going to really love it, bro. It's a great time. Super time to be alive. Room 9 here ready to ball out with AD. Shout out to my Room 9 people in the building. And DJ Killzone says, facts, AD, I was a step crash dummy and a lover boy and almost lost my dignity in all opportunities. In the end, I'm bouncing back heavy with work and content. I like that. Lord, bless us today. Bless us to be a great show. Bless us to be focused, but bless us to also take our time, because the best barbecue is not the one that hurry up and get rotisserie cooked. It's the one that's slow roasted. It's the one that's sitting in there at the low temperature so that you can get every single layer. It's the one that you got to put the thermometer in order to get the temperature so you know it's cooked fully through. We got to fully cook our meat. We can't sit there and we can't try to rush it through, because then the outside will look good, but the inside it'll still be raw. We don't want it raw. We want it actually well done. Well done, not meaning overcooked, but well done meaning that it's the right temperature in the inside. You know what I'm saying? Lord, bless us to slow cook in the right way. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, y'all ready to get started? Welcome to you guys that are new to the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. You see Quentin? Quentin ain't going to be humbled until OKC get beat by Indiana. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. You know what? I'm putting 10 racks. 10 racks on Indiana to beat Oklahoma City. I'm going today. I'm going today. I'm going to the casino just because I see Quentin in the chat talking stuff. I'm going to put $10,000 on. I was about to order a navigator today too. I'm going to put that money on Indiana against Oklahoma City. I'm going to put the money on Oklahoma. See, now I got to go talk to God and tell him not to let Shea win the championship. Now I'm about to go, and y'all sleeping on Indiana. Y'all sleeping on my guy Jim Carrey, coaching Indiana. If Indiana beat Oklahoma City, Quentin is gonna crash out so bad. Quentin might take a 2-week hiatus from the show. I don't have to wait till the semis is done. We already know who going. We know who going already. We know who going already. I'm betting Indianapolis, Indiana over Oklahoma City just because Quentin. Just because of Quentin. What up, Essence? He said this is your first live, and you just start watching the videos. Welcome to the show, Essence of Erica. I like that. And you look good in your outfit. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Essence, I would like to see you at the meetup in June, end of June. We're going to be in DC, and it's going to be a great time on a rooftop. It's going to be awesome. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Quentin says Indy isn't making it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right, so I was inspired to start this show in somewhere that doesn't get a lot of visibility, okay? I was inspired to start this show in somewhere that doesn't get a lot of visibility. Philadelphia. Did y'all know that Philadelphia had a black woman mayor? Here's my first question. Why is it that there are no good women mayors in the United States of America that I'm aware of? Certainly not large cities. Certainly not major cities. Are we doing ourselves a disservice by not having good female mayors? I look down there in New Orleans. I looked over in Los Angeles, even in the smaller cities like Dalton, Illinois, and then you head over here to Philadelphia, and the mayor is nowhere to be found after we have a mass shooting. Can somebody name a good? I mean, I seen what Lori Lightfoot did over in Chicago. Can somebody say the DC mayor is one also? Can somebody tell me and name me a female mayor of a major city that is doing a good job? Just a question. And listen, I'm open to being wrong. So just name her for me. Name her for me. Name me a female mayor. I didn't even say black. I don't care if they black. I don't care if they white. I don't care if no. Name me a female mayor that is doing a good job in the United States of America of a large major city. Everybody quiet all of a sudden. Don't get quiet. Tell me where they at. Where they at though? Where they at though? Where they at though? And y'all want to start making them governors. Y'all see what Kathy Hochul and Gretchen Whitmer is doing over there in Michigan and New York City, right? No. Don't tell me Gretchen Whitmer is a good one. I live here in Michigan. No, Michelle Wu is not a good mayor. You're not going to sell me on it. Nope. I know who Michelle Wu is. That's why they brought her forth before Congress to testify and ask about why she was trying to advocate for and let so many illegal migrants inside of the United States of America. You don't even know her name, Brittany. What's her name? Zero. So you telling me because I've seen Shang Tsung over there in Oakland, they ousted her. With all of this diversity, equity, and inclusion, you telling me you can't find one good mayor that's doing a great job? Donna Deegan in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, I'm a researcher. In the meantime, this is what's going on in Philly, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. It feels good to be back in the studio. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it, y'all.
The big story on Action News tonight is the urgent search underway. Philadelphia police working to find what they believe are the three gunmen behind last night's deadly mass shooting in Fairmount Park.
That sounds like a horror movie, y'all. Honestly, that sounds like a horror movie. Are y'all hearing this? Listen to this.
Last night's deadly mass shooting in Fairmount Park.
That could be a video game sound. That could be a horror movie sound. That could be a horror movie. Are y'all hearing that nonsense? Jesus Christ. Ain't y'all tired? Aren't y'all tired? Y'all not tired of all of this? It's just normal. We used to seeing people scream and hearing machine guns and stuff go up. They don't even call it mass shootings in the hood no more. They just call it drive-bys. That's how much they've normalized it in your communities. They don't call it mass shootings. They call it drive-bys. Remember, if it was labeled as a mass shooting, it was national news, coverage everywhere, helicopters flying everywhere. We got to find the culprits, send them to jail. Why aren't they getting a chair? It wasn't no free t-shirts, free this person t-shirts and nothing like that. They labeled it a drive-by, not because of what happens, it's because it desensitizes you to the severity of the situation. Mass shooting versus drive-by is way different. Way different. That's crazy, bro. That's insane.
That utterly horrific recording, now part of the police investigation into the chaos that played out just after 10:30 last night as hundreds gathered on Lemon Hill Drive. When the shooting finally...
How y'all gonna celebrate people that gave up their lives for this country by killing people that's a part of this country? Y'all don't even know why y'all got off on Memorial Day weekend. The weather got warm, and then y'all start killing each other in the name of those that's falling on for the behalf of this country.
Stopped. 2 victims were dead, 9 others wounded, all ranging in age from 15 to 28. Today, the police commissioner vowed to deploy even more officers as the summer season gets underway. And an outraged mayor said the city will not be held hostage. We've got team coverage tonight. Walter Perez standing by with reaction from the family of one of those who died. But we begin here with Action News reporter Annie McCormick live at police headquarters. Annie, you've got the latest on this now sprawling investigation.
And Brian, at this hour, Philadelphia police have not identified any suspects. We do know that they are looking for at least 3 shooters. They did recover 21 shell casings from the scene that appear to be from 3 different weapons. This video is being used in the investigation and shows the mayhem as reports of people shot started flooding in around 10:30 last night near the Lemon Hill Mansion. It's a popular area just a short walk from Kelly Drive and Boathouse Row in Fairmount Park. 11 people were shot, including 2 who were killed, now identified as 23-year-old Amaya Devlin and 21-year-old Mikhail Bowers. 3 of the shooting victims are teenagers, ages 15, 16, and 17.
This is a heinous act of violence.
Y'all gotta stop telling me about how y'all care so much about being respected by other communities when nobody, and I guarantee you, listen, nobody is tripping. How do I know that nobody is tripping? Because nobody is going to tell on the person that did it. Nobody is going to sit there. Y'all don't stand up for nobody. Y'all brothers, y'all sisters, y'all uncles, y'all aunties, y'all everybody. Everybody is absolutely lives is upended by it. And y'all are making sure that y'all stand on a code that ain't even meant for you. You know who the people that's doing all of the worst crimes in your community. You could have done preventative maintenance, and we want to sit here and hold. They'll sit here and say, oh, you a bootlicker. Oh, you a sellout yourself. Because you would rather let your auntie, your uncle, your nephews, and your sons die at the hands of people that you already know got switches as a part of the community and doing some of the worst things. You will help them, the escaped inmates, they will help them evade capture for some of the stuff, the most heinous crimes that they did in the community. And then they will sit here and tell me that I'm a sellout, that I'm a coon, that I am against the community because I think that these people need to go to jail and they are protecting them against justice. That's why I don't care about people's respect. I don't care about, whether or not people like me. I don't care. I care about whether or not people are going to survive through the night and if they're going to be able to see their sons or their daughters the next day. I care more about your daughters and your son than you care about your daughters and your son. This is unfortunate. This is very much stupid.
Investigators believe that rapid gunfire came from a semi-automatic weapon equipped with a switch, a small device that transforms a semi-automatic weapon into a fully automatic handgun.
This was war-time ammunition.
Philadelphia police had a presence in the park for a majority of the day and evening, with officers at the time of the shooting nearby about 75 to 100 feet away, helping to clear out park goers.
They hear the gunshots, and as a result, they responded and they started taking those who've been shot to the hospital. We've seen time and time again where individuals do not heed the fact that the police are there and still will engage in this behavior.
Bethel also addressed the department's response moving forward with big events like the Roots Picnic this weekend.
Starting this weekend, we will develop a deployment plan that puts us into the park, not to be going after permits and that type of activity, but more importantly, to keep up with the intelligence.
And Brian, at this hour, Philadelphia police not releasing what they think the motive could be. They are asking for anybody who has any video to send it to them. For now,
do we need to try to figure out the motive, or can we pretty much figure it out for ourselves? Do I really need an investigator to figure out what the motive is? When have we ever had a reasonable excuse to go and hit somebody off with a switch and do a mass shooting and shoot everybody up and kill everything and everyone in there? You ain't got to worry about Ukraine. Little Haiti is right there in the backyard. Barbecue is right next door. He live right next to you. He waiting for you to leave so he can climb in your window and rob your crib. He's setting you up. What's going on? He speaks to you every day that you come outside. All he got to do is get hungry enough and he climbing in your window, or he robbing you, or he going to set you up. 100%. 100%. Man, I got so many stories of things that I've seen and experienced when I was younger. I have so many stories of things that I've experienced and seen since I was younger. Anton hate black culture. Absolutely. I didn't know that was a secret. I've been saying that for years. I didn't know that was a secret. I absolutely hate it. This is what it looks like. Black culture is not the celebration of your ancestors and going and representing and acknowledging what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. None of that is black culture. We don't see none of that. Ain't none of that. None of that. Doing great for the community, going out and planting flowers, doing great things and building with each other. I don't see none of that. You know what I see? Switches, hood rats, fake baby hairs that you can buy from Amazon from China. I would journey to believe that the ancestors, your ancestors that y'all say that y'all love so much, I would be willing to bet that they would be more happy with me than they would with you. That they are more happy. Look, you think just because you got dreads that make you cool, that make you a part of the culture? What? Because you listen to Kendrick Lamar? That make you cool? That make you part of the culture? It don't. You're not cool. You're a fool. You a whole fool. 100%. A whole fool. Everybody get a t-shirt. You get a t-shirt. You get a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. And then all of a sudden you cool and you part of the culture. Yeah, we do it. It's silly. It's unfortunate. It's silly. And we need to start calling it out. None of this is going to change until you actually see good folk hold bad folk accountable. I think it's hilarious. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Well, Anton, why is it hilarious? Because people would actually spend energy and time worried about me, whose daughter is safe and in school and is well provided for, taken care of, college is paid for, and my family is straight. And you would actually spend time on me instead of actually trying to fix your own communities. Your community is in shambles, and you're worried about me? I'm the least of your worries. I'm the least of your worries. I am the people that think like us, me and my Room 9 chat right here, people that think like us, do y'all know that we are the biggest threat to real racism? We are the biggest threat to poverty. We are the biggest. Do you know why it's always going to be okay for people to attack the narrative that we want to hold people accountable in our community, why would I give a fuck about holding white people accountable when I don't see white people having any conversation or killing us? I don't see white people killing us. I've always been taught the word of God says you got to fix your own backyard. You need to get the beam out of your own eye. You got to pick the garbage up from your own lawn. Do you know why other communities are successful? It's because they hold each other accountable, or they divest themselves against the worst of that community. They become outcasts. That is how they are successful, is because they create an expectation that you have to be above board. They don't give a fuck about what everybody else is doing. Asian people don't care about anything, specifically Japanese people, Chinese people, Koreans, Vietnamese, Indians don't care. They are not sitting there trying to hold other people accountable because they don't care. The only thing that they care about is building and fixing and holding. What? Akbar over there acting out of control? Man, somebody get Akbar up out of here, bro. What is Akbar doing? What is Akbar doing? Muhammad over there, he can't get his kids together? Send him over here. Go get the switch. They don't care about what other communities is doing. They're not trying to hold nobody else accountable. The only way that I could fix my situation is by fixing my own household. If your household is in shambles, if your neighborhood is in shambles, if your neighbors don't care anything about your neighborhood, then the least of your concern should be looking out the window instead of looking in the mirror. Give a piss about what nobody else is doing. That's why we a threat. That's why we a threat. What's promoted is always going to be the worst amongst us. And the narrative against the people that is actually doing. Think about it. That's it. We are the biggest threat to keeping people down instead of continuing to promote success. Real talk. Real talk. Because if they can continue to tear people down that are actually good for, think about it. What thought leaders, what people do we actually promote within the black community that are super successful that we can use as examples? We don't have any. We can name 1,000 basketball players, football players. We can name it. We can't even name no golfers outside of Tiger Woods. We can name all kind of sports stars and rappers. That's all we got. That's all you got. Man, people will sit there and sit there and think that it's okay. Talk about it. Look. I live in Japan and they ain't worried about black people whatsoever. They don't care. Don't even cross their mind. And people will sit there and be mad. I don't care. Be mad. Because I'm not there for the Dusties. I'm there for the Dusties' children. Hopefully your children see this. For most of the people that are critical, I pray that your children see this. I pray that your child don't turn out like you. Ain't that crazy for me to say? I pray that your children don't turn out like you. I'm not praying for you. I'm not trying to change you. I hope your children don't turn out like you. I'm pretty sure that you hope your children don't even turn out like you. That's how crazy it is. If you live a life to where you would not want your child to have, then that means you need to be focused on doing better and remove yourself from the conversation. You're a piece of shit. Fuck your community and everything that it stands for. Do you want your child's life to end up like yours? That is the sum total of the game. Do you want your child's life to end up like you? If the answer is no, then shut the fuck up and remove yourself from the conversation. We don't want to hear nothing about what you got to say. You have been removed from being able to have conversations. Shut your goddamn comments off, bitch. You got bigger things to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Your child's life is messed up. you got to go back to that storage unit. And you better get there before 10 o'clock because you know they lock the gates, right? They locked the gates at the storage unit before 10 o'clock. And they told you in your agreement that you're not supposed to be living in the storage unit. It's dangerous. And so you got to be more careful. You sitting here looking at me talking about what it is that I'm saying. You got to hurry up and get your work done so you can get your kids together and get back to that storage unit. And they don't reopen up the gates till 6 a.m. So you better hurry up. You better hurry up and get to your storage unit. Sitting there talking to me. Anton, you know pride comes before the fall. You already fallen and you ain't even got no pride. So that means that we need to rethink this equation, right? Every time I see somebody in my comments, that's because pride cometh with a fall. The God is going to get you. Okay, so what did he do to you then? Because you never was at the starting line. You never got to the point where you can fall. Everywhere that you went, it's a soft landing. Everything that you've ever achieved is a soft landing. It's right up here. Ugh. Ugh. That means God never loved you then, right? It's a soft landing wherever you fallen from. We know that you don't have a reason to die whatsoever because you've never achieved any heights in your life. All soft landings for you. Every time you get an inch up, you take 2 steps back. We ain't got to worry about a fall from you. You need to dig yourself up. You got student loan debt. You got credit card debt. You owe the man and the bookie is coming after you. Your whole paycheck is getting garnished. You got to dig yourself out the hole. Don't worry about being in the air. Don't worry about what you're going to fall from. You got to get on up out of there. Stop. Think about what you're saying. What's the scripture about digging yourself out of the hole? Anybody know any scriptures about that one? That's the part of the Bible you need to be reading. Born behind the 8 ball, looking up at me, talking about you gonna fall. Nigga, you never had a ladder. I'm trying to put the ladder down so you can climb up, and you keep kicking the ladder from under you. Okay, well, you stay down there in the dungeon with all the rest of the dusties. Dummy. Never sit there and talk to somebody that's looking down, that's looking up at you. What are you doing? You looking up at me, telling me what I'm going to do. I'm going to pee on you. I'm not putting no more ladders down. I'm pissing. I'm not putting no more ladders down. I'm just pulling out the BBC, hosing everything down. That's what I'm doing from now on. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Y'all ready to continue on with the show? Anton, why are you using... Lakita said, Anton, why are you using all of that profanity? It's so disrespectful. Because it hit different. If I tell you, you know what? You just don't have it together. It don't really pierce your skin the way that it's supposed to. But if I say, man, you a piece of shit, that offends you. That gets you feeling some type of way. Now you motivated. I'm going to get myself together. I hate that nigga. I only care about the results. The reason why you feel that way is because you so used to being around people that give you participation trophies. I don't give participation trophies. I only give harsh truth and reality, and then I give credit where credit is due. So it's probably because you don't have a strong father in your life and he never gave you a spanking or a whooping, and they gentle parented you. And that's why you so soft. That's why a lot of these women are getting laid off. But we'll get there. It hit different. Let me read some of these super chats. I'm not on after hours. You know what? This podcast may take a turn for the worse. Don't worry about it. Jada Transporter says, the only one I can think of would be the mayor of Tampa, and that's it. Who is the mayor of Tampa? What is her name? Eric Wealth Harris says, I bet she won't. Will always live rent-free in my head, and I can't unhear it. See, the most iconic moments come when you least expect it. Nitty in the building says, nah, AD Mayor Parker is doing an okay job. Surprisingly, crime is down in Philly. Let me tell you something, Nitty. Every time that you hear these liars tell you that crime is down, it's underreported. It's underreported. Crime is not down, it's underreported. Trust me, bro. I know how the finesse game work. Don't let them lie to you and say that, bro. Anton Stop is just a gang hit. Shout out to the New Age creator. Also appreciate No Excuse Lifestyle. Rocky Cage says, what up, AD? Haven't super chatted in a while because I've been busy, but I went to downtown Detroit for the first time ever. Nice there. Lake Michigan for my 46th birthday, testing the 2018 Chevy Equinox. Salute to you, my. Oh, so you got to experience what downtown Detroit is like. It's nice. See, a lot of people don't know that, and they think that it's based off of what they see on TV. It's nothing like TV. Maddie Parker in Fort Worth, Texas. Shout out to Kai. So you saying Maddie Parker is doing a great job? I'm gonna have to look her up. Lee Barton says my grandmother had a dream that more young people was lined up and going to hell than ever before, and your grandfather is right, or your grandmother is right. I'm telling you, your grandmother is right. What I've learned in life, I just had a chill go through my body. What I've learned in life is never seek the validation of the majority of people that's going to bust hell wide open. I don't need their validation. I've never needed the validation of a bunch of people. If hell have enlargeth itself and the path, right? The path to destruction is wide, but the path to righteousness is narrow. Do you think that I'm ever going to worry about whether if the majority of the people agree with me or not? Never. Manual AG says drive-bys are gang activity and other involves innocent people. It wasn't just a dream, that was real. It wasn't just a dream, that's real. It's a lot of young people that's going down. I've survived drive-bys in the hood, which is why I left. Call me any name you want. I'm alive and free from this mess, and I'm never voting Democrat. Shout out to Room 9 in the building. I love my girl Night Jade. Just Christian says these YNs have switches now because they weren't enough switches going across their behind when they was younger. Tia Marie is in the building. What up to Tia Marie? Says Black Fatigue has entered the chat. Anyway, love you, AD. Keep being great. Thank you, Tia, and I love you too, baby girl. Delt Rec is in the building. Says we need to file a class action lawsuit against family court to get rid of single baby mama homes. Family court needs to be forced to give all fathers joint custody. Kenneth Brown says, who cares, racist? I don't even know what that means. Did you mean racist, like RACIST, or did you mean to say racist like the horse is off to the races? I'm gonna need y'all gotta understand the difference between there. You gotta understand how to use the word wouldn't, not wooden, like the wood, but wouldn't, would not. You gotta know the difference between races and racists. All right? Okay. We got to make some adjustments, y'all. AD, get him, says Canary. Shout out to that. Get him, AD. Yeah. Shout out to you. Mr. Birds. Mr. Bird is in the building. Says, AD, how dare you speak against the tribal mind virus and be an advocate of individuality and self-accountability? Thank you, mister. I appreciate you. Delph Rex says, I tell people that say being negative about my success suck a mean one. You got to say from the back. Add from the back end to that. MP is in the building. Says, AD forgot he's not on after hours. No, this is my time to kick it with the people and be honest and realistic. Eric Wealth Harris says, AD diagnosed with N-word fatigue. I call it ghetto fatigue personally. Me University says Black culture is love for all and creativity. No, it's disdain from authority, violence when financially frustrated, and unity as a mask for debauchery. I like that description. That's pretty accurate. 392Q says need a channel called Cooking with Anton. Kevin Studis says Black people are saying Trump pardon that white couple is white privilege. So I asked, is it Black privilege when Trump pardoned 1,200 Black men? Oh, we gonna get there. That's the part of the show today. We gonna get there. Courtney Egger show says, Anton, you've been one of the few voices online pushing men to build real value, not just followers. I've leveled up my mindset, my money, and my circle just staying consistent and applying your game. Thank you, my friend. Elizabeth Warren controlled auto pen. Did you hear about the Elizabeth Warren controlled auto pen? No, I didn't hear about that one. Send it to me in an email. All right, y'all, let's continue on with the show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's spend 10 minutes on this one. This was an unfortunate situation. A jet ski hit and run accident, and the suspects are here illegally. You're not going to get this on MSNBC and CNN. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on to the show.
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. We now want to shift gears, showing you a live look there in Dallas. Of course, shifting gears to a story that came from over the weekend just outside of Dallas, Texas. Officials say that an 18-year-old woman named Ava Moore was kayaking on a nearby Grapevine Lake there on Sunday. She was killed when a jet ski hit and run. The driver of the jet ski fled the scene with a male, and a search ensued. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton later announced that those two suspects were arrested, and we're now learning much more about who they are. I want to now turn our attention to Fox 4 Dallas reporter David Centendry. He's standing by to give us all of the details and the latest. David, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Just break down the very latest, some of those details that are just now coming out.
Yeah, thanks, Christina. Well, just within the past hour, we obtained an arrest warrant affidavit for 2 suspects. And the person who was driving that jet ski apparently was operating it at a very high rate of speed around swimmers and kayakers. And we've learned that Ava Moore, who was on her kayak, was actually trying to get away from that jet ski just because it appears it was being reckless on the lake. Then she was struck from behind. The operator of that jet ski actually got away, but not before a photo was taken of her and shared with law enforcement, who have just blasted it across social media here in North Texas.
So not only did they hit and kill this young lady who had her whole life ahead of her on the lake, and it always seems like the person that dies, or the person that is the victim of whatever it is that's happening at the hands of these people that was never supposed to be in the United States of America at all in the first place, it always seemed like they had their whole life ahead of them. Like, they never hit and kill the local drug dealer. They never make a mistake and peel off on a mass murderer or a person that everybody was looking for as a serial killer, and once they fingerprinted him and he was better off not being here. It never, ever is that. The drunk drivers never kill the guy that just got away from beating on his baby mama. Nobody, that never happens. It never happens. The only time that these people ever kill somebody, it be somebody that was trying to get away and some innocent woman or an innocent grandma that was crossing the street. Oh my God, I can't believe it. And they never make it. They never make it. They never survive. And then not only that, but then as they getting away, he hitting cars and he doing hit and runs in vehicles after they just did a hit and run on a jet ski. So you hanging out in Texas in Governor Wheelchair State. And not only are y'all being reckless on the water and on land, and you over here illegally, and you know that the Trump administration is going to start sending immigration and customs to come and deport you. If I was an illegal immigrant in the United States of America, number one, I would have already been preparing myself and got my money up to the self-deport. And the reason that is because if you want to be over here legally, then you just got to go through the process, right? You got to go through the process. However long it takes, you got to go through the process. So the minute that I would have touched American soil, I would have been hustling, grinding. I would have already applied to be in here legally, and I would have been stacking every single dime. I wouldn't be having no fun. If I came over to the United States of America, I wouldn't be having no fun. I would be out the way. I would be quiet. I wouldn't be making no noise. I wouldn't be problematic. I would be catching a bus. I would be the most unsuspecting illegal immigrant in the United States of America. And I would be running up a bag so that I can go home and then live the life that I really want to live. That's how most Americans kind of see y'all little third world countries in the first place. That's how we see it. Anytime I see somebody that's a passport person, I ain't even going to say a passport, bro. Because it's the difference between a person that's looking to travel the world and experience the world versus a person that's looking to go get some box. I actually pulled up a map today. Well, there wasn't a map today. It was a map in San Juan because I was looking at the area and trying to better understand exactly where to invest money, right? Because technically that's the United States of America. But I'm looking at a map and I'm trying to see it. I said, okay, well, wait a minute. That's Haiti over there. Haiti is right next to the Dominican Republic. Where is Sosua? Sosua is way up there. I never actually pulled out the map to see where these places are. Sosua is way at the top of the Dominican Republic. Way at the top. This little dot at the top. So I said, wait a minute. So you got this whole big old place in the Dominican Republic. And the places that you target is the hot spots for prostitution and to get some suck off. No, it's a weird thing because everybody telling me that they're trying to see the world, but they keep going to the same place over and over again, right? So they bring HIV, AIDS, and herpes over to the prostitutes to Sosua. The prostitutes to Sosua then transfers it to everybody else because everybody is hitting the same box and they thinking they getting off on one, right? Because nobody is using protection and nobody is even using PrEP. And you pick one little spot of a huge island and that's the only place that you've experienced, but yet you trying to tell me that you're seeing culture? I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it at all. And so if I was an illegal migrant coming into the United States of America, I would be quiet because what a lot of Americans are saying that wind up leaving is, man, your dollar stretch further. You can really run up a bag. If you just had this amount of money, you can live for the rest of your life and you can live like a king. You can buy land and they ain't not worried about property taxes. So why they not over here getting to a bag and running it up and being quiet? You know why? Because they don't have the mindset of a person that is productive. And that's why they're here illegally. That's why they're here illegally. Direct Devon says, how do we always get back to this? Because I go on a rant and I express every single thought that's in my mind relative to the subject. And then we going to bring it back to make sure that we make the point that we trying to make. Oh, you know that they hunting y'all down. Why are you making noise?
A vehicle crash while driving away from the lake with Gonzalez,
where they crashed into two different vehicles and got out of the car and ran away.
Had some Oak Cliff neighbors known they were reportedly hiding next door, they say they would have called.
Hold on, wait. Here's my question. If it's not applicable to you, why do people get so offended when you speak about a certain demographic that's doing stuff that's not right in society? I never feel compelled to have to defend the worst amongst us. And I always use this example. If somebody say, man, all of these guys is broke and these people, they doing this and they come over to whatever, I don't care. And I'm not even going to defend it. You know why? Because it's not applicable to me. All of these men, they having children out of wedlocks. They got baby mamas everywhere. Yeah, that's true. It is a bunch of futures out here running around without future money. You know why I'm not offended? Because it's not applicable to me. If you are a person that travels regularly to go see the world and you are confident in your ability to really be on the up and up and take care of business and you're going to see other countries and you pay for box, or if you're a guy that don't feel like you did anything wrong when you go and get a lady boy in Thailand, why are you offended? Oh man, I gotta do a reaction video and go back at Anton as he's talking about guys that pay for pussy in the passport bros. If you're not the type of dude that feel guilty about paying for box, then why you offended? You feel the need to have to defend yourself? I don't feel the need to have to defend myself against anything. I said what I said. I said what I said and I meant what I said. And so I'm not going to defend myself against it. Now, you may not necessarily agree with what I said, and so that's what your opinion is, and I respect that. I like that. I like content. But I don't feel the need to have to defend myself. Listen, look, if you like lady boy in Thailand, 10%, Thailand has one of the biggest populations of lady boys. If you don't want to be shamed in America and you want to go and get you some man butt, but you want it to feel like female butt because that's the way that they condition themselves and they make sure that they modify their bodies to be lady boy, then go and get you some lady boy. That's your prerogative. Just don't try to preach it over here. Get you lady boy. Be confident in it. Don't get mad at all of us ain't going to get lady boys. Then why you care? Why are you speaking on it? Is that a problem for you? So you go all the way to Thailand not to get lady boy, right? Or when you found out that it was lady boy, then did you still see it through? Or did you say, nah, I'm straight? You just said, cut the camera off. And then you had a conversation with him. You really a lady boy? You a lady boy? I don't believe it. Let me see. Dang, that's crazy. Well, you know, I kind of liked you before I just got to know you. I don't really even care about the sex part. I just want to spend some time with quality people that understand where I come from, you know, because it's tough and they just don't understand. Everybody is so judgmental back home. Yeah, everybody's so judgmental back home. I don't even understand. I'm for everybody. I'm for equality, so I'm not going to judge you. Yeah, just kiss my neck a little bit. Just kiss my neck a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't even care. I mean, I never thought about trying it before, but who gonna know, right? They do it in jail back home anyway. I've seen it happen in jail. It don't even stick out that much. You just like a real girl. You just got some man parts. That's it. Stand on it. Stand on it. Stand on it. Stand on it. Don't let your family shame you into thinking that you doing something wrong. You did it. Stand on it. Man, you know that you keep calling him Sam. I call her Susan. Sam is an interchangeable name. You don't even know that. You don't know that. Sam is interchangeable. Samantha, Samuel, it's a name that goes for everybody. How was I supposed to know that something was going to be sticking out? Sam is an interchangeable name. I thought it was Samantha when I found out it was Samuel. I just didn't judge, and you now are transphobic. How about that? You transphobic. Then they try to switch it around on you. No, nigga, you the one that's paying for pussy. I didn't pay for none. You pay for it. Stand on it. You just mad because you were lame and you ain't getting no play in high school. So you got money now and you think you can say anything to everybody else. You just mad. You must have been lame, so you couldn't get none back when you were in high school. But I seen everything. I know what I'm talking about. You must be a tether. Yo, you must have inherited something from your father. Listen, you conservative in your money, but you liberal when it comes to getting that box. I get it. Let's finish the rest of this story and move on.
911.
I would probably try to tip them off and tell them that they were here.
So Gonzalez is facing several charges, the most significant being manslaughter. Texas game wardens, who are the lead on this investigation, plan to have a press conference tomorrow morning where we are expected to hear more information about what led to this arrest and some possible new charges. Christina?
It's unfortunate that this young lady lost her life. And illegal migrants need to go back to their country and come over here the right way. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I didn't mean to offend you. Listen, like who you like. Like who you like. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and what is it, Wednesday? I feel like a Tuesday. I don't know why I feel like a Tuesday. Maybe because of Memorial Day. Let me read some of the super chats, and then we're going to move over to the next part of the show. Here, let me put on purple for Lady Boys. Purple pink. Lady Boy, purple pink. Like who you like. Like who you like, you know. Shout out to my room. The name of the chat is Room 9. Shout out to Room 9. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Let's continue on with the show. Low Black Duck 2001 says Anton got melanation exasperation. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Melanation exasperation. Abe the Hunter says these YNs used to be the ones with powdered hands in room 9. Now they carry 9s with the powder that fire lead. Is deep. Is deep. J Pitt City says if civilians going by street rules, even though they don't participate in street activities, this will always be why we're last place. I'm not last place. I've decided to vest myself. Julian Harvey. What up, Julian? Julian says, AD, I don't agree with everything you say, but I agree with a lot of what you say. I still believe in black empowerment, but not holding black people accountable is just as detrimental. Let me ask y'all a question, Julian, because I get this a lot. I even got this on the street over Memorial Day weekend. I got several people that was like, man, I love you, Todd. I love what you got going on there, man. What's going on, big dog? Nice to meet you. Can we flick it up? Hey, big dog. Hey, can you turn the camera? Yeah, let me wipe the front of the camera. Get a picture. Get a picture of them. Yeah. And then they be like, yeah, man, because this, bro, you know what? I like your platform. You killing it. You representing for the city. But I don't agree with everything you say. You know, would you be rocking with Trump? Yeah. People say that all the time. Like, why don't y'all just say what you agree with or what you don't agree with? Why do y'all gotta? Why do y'all preface it? Why do y'all preface what y'all say by making sure that you help me to understand that you don't agree with everything that I know that you don't agree with everything that I say? My daughter, my mother don't agree with everything that I say. As a matter of fact, my mother disagrees with a lot of what I say. Nobody agrees 100% with everything that somebody says. Nobody. Nobody agrees with 100% of everything that anybody says. Nobody. If you rocking with me on this particular subject, just say, yo, you killing it on that one, big dog. If you don't rock with me on a particular subject, yo, man, I don't really, dog, I disagree with you on that. You ain't got to preface it. You ain't got to preface it. Just tell me what it is that you're rocking with, and we going to go from there. Let's go subject by subject. Judge me based off the subject that I'm talking about at that particular moment. Rashonda Blackwell says, good morning, AD. That's Jasmine's district. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me go back. And shout out to you, Rashonda. I appreciate you. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Julian Harvey, let's go back to what you said. You say, AD, I don't agree with everything that you say, but I agree with a lot of what you say. I still believe in black empowerment. Julian. Now, let me flip it on you for a second, okay? Let me flip it on you for a second. What if somebody says, what if Jonathan Harvey says, AD, I don't agree with everything that you say, but I agree with a lot of what you say. I still believe in white power. Would that be okay? I'm just asking, would it be okay? If he says, I still believe in white power, would you be offended and why? Because I want to show y'all what it looks like, because we think that we operate only from our lens and our perspective, and we don't look at it from the lens of a world view. It's a huge world. We only 13.6% of the population in the United States of America. Oh, see, now everybody is saying no. Now everybody is saying no. Why y'all saying y'all don't agree with it? What's the difference? Why are you saying you don't agree with it, and what's the difference? Exactly, Chance. Exactly. You are 100% correct. If the shoe was on the other foot, it would be a racial thing. And that is the whole point. You can't even be of the word of God. You can't even consider yourself a word or a child of God. You can't consider yourself a Christian if you are doing the thing that you wouldn't want done to you. That is one of the number one things that God don't want you to do. Do unto others. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. We have to treat people how we want to be treated. And so you cannot express something that you are not willing to accept back. That is the whole premise. It is a very simple thing. It can't just be one way. It can't just be one way. And think about it. 13.6% of the population, 50% of what's in jail. That means that y'all, that's 13% of the population. That's not even 13% of what's walking on the streets. It's significantly lower than that. Just Christian says they need to put Miranda under the jail. Shout out to Miranda. That needs to be put under the jail. Am now Nigeria American citizen. Shout out to Olarazi. I appreciate you for supporting the platform. Queen Richie says, shout out to Millionaire Morning Show on Room 9. Happy B-Day to me. Happy birthday, Queen. Shout out to the Queen. Happy birthday. I declare I will be dust-free in the new year. Thanks, Mr. Daniels, for all that you do. Hashtag to the bag chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Dondre says that boy got meningitis. I don't even, I used to want to visit the island and see the whole world and see Thailand. There's certain places that I don't even feel like I ever have to go. Is that the Bussy Monster voice? Mark the Guardian says. Christopher Mayberry says, yo, man, where the weak hotel Wi-Fi when we meet it? Nope, I got that good Wi-Fi. I'm in the studio. Time sounds like Robert Downey in Tropic Thunder. I like that Tropic Thunder. That was a good show, a good movie. Nichelle says, I got that super sticker for you. Thank you, Nichelle. I appreciate you. Dondre says, gotta make the Prince noise when you say lady boy. I'm not doing it. Y'all on your own with the Prince noise. Transition to red AD. You're being too nice. All right, I got you, big dog. We gonna go red. Going all red today. All red. Julian Harvey says white power and black empowerment are two different things. Nope. I disagree. I disagree whatsoever. I disagree with you 100%. Mike says you're not the sharpest tool in the tool shed, but I still cut. Did you know you can get cut even if the knife is not sharp? It hurt more. It hurt more when the knife is not sharp. That's the whole idea. That's the metaphor for not being the sharpest knife in the tool shed. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Trump is pardoning Todd and Julie Chrisley. Now, when I used to see this guy on the show, I would see different people watching the show. All right, I would see different people watching the show, and when I would see this guy on the show. And they have been large Trump supporters for a long time. The dull knife cut way where it hurt more. When I would see them on the show, I would always think that this guy is kind of sassy. Didn't you think? Have y'all ever seen this guy before?
6:14 here on the East Coast, and welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue with your top stories and headlines this Wednesday morning. New this morning, reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley are expected.
You thought he was gay too? I thought he was gay too. I'm going to play a little bit of him for you just to let y'all know.
To be released from prison. President Donald Trump making the announcement on social media and even called Savannah Chrisley, letting her know the news. Right now, we want to check in with Fox 5 Atlanta's Brooke Zahner. She joins us live at the federal courthouse in downtown Atlanta with the very late.
Is this what we call a lavender marriage, y'all? Is this a lavender marriage? Remember I was explaining to y'all what a lavender marriage is? Is this a lavender marriage?
Brooke, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. And the Chrisley's daughter, Savannah, also posted to her own social media feed, first thanking President Trump for commuting her parents' sentences and her followers for all of their support. She's really been at the forefront of trying to get her parents' convictions overturned.
Your parents are going to be free and clean.
In a video posted to X, President Donald Trump says he's granting full pardons to former reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley.
Well, I have shed so many tears. The president called me personally as I was walking into Sam's Club and notified me that he was signing pardon paperwork for both of my parents.
The pair was convicted in 2022 of conspiring to defraud banks and the IRS out of millions of dollars. During their incarcerations, their legal team continued to file appeals while their daughter, Savannah, sought a pardon petition.
I don't know them, but give them my regards.
It still doesn't feel real. It doesn't. I'm freaking out. So I'm going to go and prepare to go pick up my parents.
That pardon petition claimed the Chrisleys' convictions were based on an illegal raid, compromised evidence, and false testimony by a key government witness. On Tuesday, both Savannah and her brother Grayson got a call from the president, letting them know he would be pardoning their parents.
President Trump didn't just commute their sentences. He gave them a full, unconditional pardon. So for that, I am forever grateful.
And Savannah went on to say that she is expecting to have her parents back home at some point today, if that hasn't already happened. Of course, it's something we'll be tracking here, but for now, that is the latest here live in.
I've seen some black people upset about this. Because for me, honestly, it doesn't mean anything to me either way. I don't care either way. Like, I'm happy for them. I'm glad that they got a pardon. I'm glad that the daughter apparently seems like she's happy about it and they can reunite their family. To be honest with you, I think that it's a good thing. I mean, it doesn't sound like they killed anybody. It doesn't sound like it was any crimes, like real crimes that was against humanity or anything like that. I didn't necessarily care about or follow the case or anything like that, but I've seen a lot of people getting mad at it. And I didn't understand why a lot of black people, I seen it on TikTok that a lot of black people got mad at it, and I didn't understand it. I agree, Loso Way. When are black people not mad? 100%. A lot, like, for example, somebody says, I want truth and fair practices. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I didn't hear any black people complaining when he got Lil Wayne out of jail. I didn't see any black people complaining when he brought Kodak Black home. And they two rappers. And they've managed to stay free for the most part. At least Lil Wayne has. Kodak Black, he's been in and out a little bit. But they've managed to stay free. I didn't hear anybody complaining when he brought home the former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick and he pardoned him and he didn't ask for anything in return. So my question is, are we being fair? Are we being fair? That's my biggest thing is, why are people so outraged and trying to make this about race when he's been across the board pardoning different people from both his first administration and this administration? He's been pardoning white people, black people, whoever it is that he feels like that he wants to pardon. That's what a president can do. So, for example, again, we see Julian Harvey says, see, now these things are things that I say that I disagree with you with. All right, Julian. So here you go, Julian. I'm going to give you an opportunity to express yourself. I don't want you to feel like you got to continue to say stuff in the chat. I want you to be able to express yourself. For Julian. Julian, I'm going to give you an opportunity to come up here and say it. Because I want to hear what is it that you disagree with me on this one. Julian, what do you disagree about on this one? I just put the link in the chat. You're more than welcome to come and communicate it. What is it that you disagree with me about this one? What did I say wrong on this one, big dog? I'm gonna leave it open for 5 minutes, give Julian an opportunity to be able to come in and express his thoughts. But I thought that this guy was kind of sassy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let me see if I can pull it up. Chrisley. Is it Chrisley? Todd Chrisley. I wish I can find a video of him talk. Here he is. Yeah, this dude, he kind of weird to me. I don't know if he just got like an eclectic personality or what. What's up, Mika?
Meet Todd Chrisley.
This is Michael. I'm breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Won't you love your own place?
Eventually.
I have been wiping your ass since you was born. I'd prefer to not have to keep doing it.
I expect all of my children to be very good kids.
Ow. She has boys coming to the party that she's interested in.
They won't be interested in her after they meet her daddy, because they'll realize at that point that crazy runs deep.
Yeah, he was always a little weird to me. I don't really know what that is. You know what I'm saying? I never like to just by default judge a book by its cover and try to say, oh man, he's sassy or anything like that. But he was always a little bit weird to me. I will admit that. I will admit that he was always a little bit weird to me. But, you know, that just could be his personality, or, you know, that just could be what he's into. I don't know. But he always seemed just a little tad bit weird. I don't really know what that is.
New pardons by President Trump, and they're starting to follow a pattern. Late today, we learned from the White House that reality TV show couple Todd and Julie Chrisley are both getting full pardons. They spent nearly 3 years in prison so far after being convicted of conspiracy to defraud banks out of more than $30 million. The couple, best known for starring in the show Chrisley Knows Best, were also found guilty of several tax crimes, including attempting to defraud the IRS, which means they were attempting to defraud all of us who pay taxes. One of the Chrisley's children spoke at last year's Republican convention. Today, an advisor to the president posted a video of him calling the couple's kids to give them the news.
It's a terrible thing, but it's a great thing because your parents are going to be free and clean, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow. I don't know them, but give them my regards and wish them...
Is that a black woman that's standing next to Trump? Hold on.
Mr. President.
Yes. How are you?
I just want to say thank you for bringing
Not a woman of color standing next to Trump. I know that's going to piss people off right there.
my parents back.
Yeah, well, they were given a pretty harsh treatment based on what I'm hearing.
Well, you briefly heard in that clip Savannah Chrisley, the daughter who spoke at the Republican National Convention in July. She also campaigned for the president on what was billed as the Team Trump's Women Tour. Also tonight, the New York Times is reporting former nursing home executive Paul Walzak is also getting a full pardon, and like the Chrisleys, he too was convicted of tax crimes, accused of siphoning some $10 million from employee paychecks under the pretext it was going to taxes. Instead, according to the New York Times, he spent some of it on a $2 million yacht for himself. And like the Chrisleys' daughter's appearance at the convention, according to the Times, Paul Walzak's mom raised millions of dollars for the president and other Republicans and attended a $1 million plate dinner at Mar-a-Lago. The paper reported he turned in a pardon application in January around the time of the inauguration. The Times says the application didn't focus on his crimes, but instead the political activity in favor of the president of his mom. And the pardon application even mentioned her efforts to sabotage the 2020 Biden presidential campaign by publicizing the diary of his daughter, Ashley Biden. President Trump has given a full pardon also to this former Virginia sheriff, just hours before he was set to report to prison. According to federal prosecutor Scott Jenkins, who served as a top law enforcement officer in Culpeper County, was convicted in December of conspiracy and other charges, including accepting more than $75,000 in bribes in exchange for appointing several businessmen as auxiliary deputy sheriffs within his department. Just 2 months ago, under the Trump administration, Jenkins was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Now he is a free man. The president saying in part in a social media post on Monday, this sheriff is a victim of an overzealous Biden Department of Justice and doesn't deserve to spend a single day in jail. Now, before all these, the president had already pardoned at least 15 others for financial crimes since returning to office in January. Here are some of the high-profile ones listed on the Department of Justice's website. In January, on day 2 of his second term, the president announced a pardon for Ross William Ulbricht, the founder of the Silk Road dark web marketplace. He was serving a life sentence on charges related to the site that the Department of Justice had described as, quote, the most sophisticated and extensive criminal marketplace on the internet today. Rod Blagojevich, the former Democratic governor of Illinois, he was removed from office and convicted of charges that included a scheme to sell an appointment to fill the vacant Senate seat left by then President Barack Obama. He served 8 years of a 14-year sentence before he received a commuted sentence in the president's first term. And then in January, just days into his second term, the president gave him a full pardon. There's also Devin Archer, Hunter Biden's former business partner, who testified before Congress about his business dealings. He got a pardon from Mr. Trump in March. Archer was convicted in 2018 of involvement in a scheme involving fraudulently issuing and selling more than $60 million of tribal bonds. Also in March, the president pardoned former Tennessee State Senator Brian Kelsey. That happened just 2 weeks after Kelsey reported federal prison to serve a nearly 2-year sentence for illegal campaign finance scheme he pleaded guilty to back in 2022.
My bad, I'm muted. Yeah, thank y'all for letting me know I'm muted. Yeah, I don't feel anything either way. It's not a big deal. I see Reggie Reg says that everybody needs to get a get out of jail free card. I 100% disagree with that. I don't think that everybody should get a get out of jail free card. And shout out to Room 9 and the people letting me know that I'm muted. I'm on a little bit of a delay, so I caught it a little later than usual. But the point is just that I don't feel any type of way whatsoever. I don't think that everybody deserves a get out of jail free card. And I think that we need to be, y'all letting me know. Y'all keeping me popping right here. Shout out to y'all for letting me know that I'm muted. You never agreed with the pardon power. How don't you agree with the pardon power? Okay, well, Reg, then if you don't agree with the pardon power, then that means that you think that Hunter Biden should not get a pre-pardon all the way back to 2014, right? That Biden or Obama or the black women has been released. Trump has released black women. Obama has released different people. You don't agree with anybody that's being pardoned, right? All right. Well, if y'all don't believe that anybody should be pardoned, then I guess that's that. Anyways, yeah, it's not that really big of a deal. I think that Democrats and a lot of these liberal stations are reaching for straws because they don't have anything negative to say about Trump right now. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a couple of super chats. And then we're going to move on with the show. Kobe B says, what up, Anton? I'm here to contribute and work my way into the $50 Patreon tier. I'm focused on pursuing success, though I'm not yet a part of your exclusive circle of high achievers. Shout out to Kobe B and all of the bag chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Red Cup Talks with Mika says Trump pardoned black woman and made her the pardon czar. That's a fact. Shout out to my girl Mika. Can't wait to see them clavicles on Thursday. Hey, D, any suggestions for Bible reading order? Yep, front to back. Start with Genesis, then go into Exodus, and then Leviticus, and then Numbers, and Deuteronomy, and then Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, then go into 1st and 2nd Kings, go to 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, and then even when you go into the New Testament, Matthew, go with Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts of the Apostles, Epistles to the Romans. Make sure you read all of Paul's letters to the Galatians, and then read Revelations last. That would be my suggestion. Read it like a regular book. Read it from front to back. Front to back. The same way that women wipe. That's what Trini Life says, front to back. Front to back. Front to back. And y'all need to stop with these audiobooks. The only time that you need to be reading the audio, having an audiobook, is if you're reading along with the audiobook. The only time that, because what happens is you'll start to overlook things, or you won't be as attentive, or you don't pay attention as much. And so you start to forget certain details. When the first time that you read the Bible, I suggest you read the Bible at least 3 times. All 66 books. The first time that you read the Bible, read it from front to back without worrying about taking any notes. The second time that you read the Bible, slow down a little bit and start to study. The third time that you read the Bible, that's when you need to probably buy a concordance. All right, so you can better understand it. Genesis is a wild book. Genesis got a lot of stuff in there. A lot of stuff. Then you're going to start getting into children of Israel. And then you're going to start getting into Elijah and Elisha. A lot of people not familiar with the difference between Elijah and Elisha. You're going to start reading about Abraham. You're going to start reading about Isaac. So many different. Job. Samson is going to teach you a good lesson about hoes. Stay away from the hoes, big dog. Samson, the strongest, slaying people, huge. He had a blessing from God, and then he let himself get too close to the hoes. Even Samson was rendered powerless against the hoes. All right. Jacob. Jacob. You're going to read about Esau. You're going to read about, what's some of my favorite? A lot of people like David. A lot of people like Solomon. People like Psalms. It's awesome. The book is absolutely awesome. It's great. It's great. So, Stephen. You're going to read about Stephen. A lot of people not familiar with Stephen. They don't talk about Stephen that often. It's going to teach you a lot of stuff. It's going to teach you a lot of things. So, Samson had boxolitis. That's a fact. That's a fact. Maybe that's why I like his story so much. 392Q says, Julian, answer the phone. Dondre says, this is no different. I'm sorry. I don't know, Anton. This is no different than the PPP loan scheme. No one is getting pardoned for that. Red Cup Talks with Mika says Jim Crow Joe can pardon pedos, but Trump, never mind. Don't worry about it. Talk to him, Mika. Marty says, what up, though? I appreciate you, Marty. Then goes on to say, the black lady is Alice Johnson, Trump's pardon czar. She was pardoned by Trump his first term and is from Memphis. I really want to go and get some Memphis barbecue. I really want to go and get some Memphis barbecue. Somebody told me that Memphis got the best barbecue. Is that true? Room 9. Does Memphis have the best barbecue? Let me see how long a flight is from Memphis. Give me a second. Flights. Let's see. What's Memphis talking about, y'all?
new pardons by.
Give me a second. I got to see what's happening in Memphis. Detroit to Memphis. Everybody keep telling me don't go to Memphis. If I go on Thursday, come back on Saturday to be back for the Grand Prix. Non-stop flight to Memphis. We can get back and forth to Memphis in no time. Now, if you want to fly Frontier, because the prices is currently high, according to Google Flights, prices is currently high. On average, it's supposed to be between 175 and 300. Currently, on an average, is 456. You can get there for 456 on Frontier, but that's for one stop. Whoa, one stop, 11 hours. Where are you stopping at? Denver? No, big dog. We want to do nonstop only. Nonstop only. You can fly Delta or you can go Spirit. It's only 2 hours. All right, so let's modify this a little bit. Nonstop. We want to go. Let me move this around a little bit. Hold on. Change that to first. 900 round trip. I can catch a 4 p.m. flight on Thursday. So if I select that, and then on Saturday, I can come back in the morning. I can catch a 10 a.m. flight and be back by 1:16. That might be the move. That might be the move. What y'all think about Memphis? Y'all like Memphis? Has anybody been to Memphis? What y'all know about Memphis? What y'all know about Memphis? I like Memphis Bleak, so that should be sufficient. Y'all know anything about Memphis? Do Memphis got the best barbecue? Texas is where it's at for the barbecue. But yeah, I don't have nothing to compare it to. I don't have nothing to compare it to. I flew Allegiant, Fly Girl Candy. I've flown Allegiant before, but I flew Allegiant through MGM. MGM flew me on Allegiant. Flew me out like a bad chick. Listen, first of all, I don't care about taking a Spirit flight. Y'all the ones that's bougie. I don't have a problem with Spirit. Me and Spirit have never had an issue before. I've taken like 2 flights in Spirit. I took one, I know for one thing, I took a Spirit flight from Tampa to Miami. It was like 45 minutes. I took a Spirit flight from Tampa to Miami before, and I had no problem. I had the big seat, the big front seat, and all of that stuff. I've never had a problem with Spirit. Why y'all tripping off of Spirit? Downtown Memphis is cool. Ain't nothing wrong with Spirit. Ain't nothing wrong with Spirit. I might go to Memphis for a couple days. I might have to call my daughter and see what's happening. Let me call Les.
Hello.
What up? You still in school?
Yeah.
How's it going? You good?
Yeah.
Did you get a nice little bout of rest?
Yes, I definitely did.
Have you ever been to Memphis before?
I think so.
How, you don't know? You don't even know where you've been no more?
No, not really.
I'm thinking about going to Memphis for like 2 days and then hurry up and coming back for the weekend. Huh? Well, just because you got Taekwondo, that don't stop me.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. All right, I'll call you back. I'll let you know.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye. I think my daughter's been to Memphis before. Or maybe it was Nashville. I don't know. Said, bring the blicky, Brittany. Bring the blicky. I think my daughter has been to Memphis. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's been to Memphis before. I might shoot out on Memphis on a Thursday, come back on a Saturday, come for the Grand Prix, and be chilling. The restaurant Rendezvous in Memphis is amazing, really good barbecue. I want to go to Memphis just to have some barbecue. Anton ride Spirit and get that hood content. Y'all want me to ride Spirit just so I could get it on the vlog? Yeah. Anton stay bugging his family on the stream. That's because I love calling my family to find out what's going on. Hey, what's happening? I'm not a texter. You'll find that out about me. What are you ready for, Julian? It's too late. I already gave you 5. See, listen, Julian. This is what you're going to learn about me. I want to let y'all know, for the people that's watching this is no longer a traditional show. The Millionaire Morning Show is not a traditional show. This is just me streaming, talking about random subjects that I think is relevant to have a conversation about and that interests me. But it's still going to be called the Millionaire Morning Show. This is the only time that I get to have one-on-one time with you guys. Julian, if somebody give you time, you have to be ready. You have to be ready so that you ain't got to get ready. I gave you 5 minutes. Actually, I gave you like 15 minutes. Now you want to sit here and say, oh, man, Anton, I'm ready. It's too late now. That's a lie. Quentin has not texted me. I'm not a texter. I'm a phone caller. And Quentin will also tell you that when I want to talk, I call Quentin all the time. Me and Quentin talk at least once a week, once or twice a week. I call Quentin like, hey, man, what you think is going to happen with this game? Hey, man, how much you going to, this is what Quentin say, how much you going to bet on that game? Oh, I'm thinking like $1,000. He was like, and then he'd be like, oh, that's not bad. Oh. Hello? Hold on, wait. Say what?
They said you need all new tires on the truck. Do you want to get it done today or wait?
Get it done I think they lying, but okay, go ahead and get all new tires.
All right, bye.
Bye. What? How do you need all new tires? Anyways, again, make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. You feel me next time, Julian? All right, cool. All new tires. How? The car I can't believe that the car I don't even think the car got 10,000 miles on it. Don't get maintenance on a Porsche, on a Cayenne. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All people do is call me with bad news nowadays. Nobody is calling me and saying, Anton, I just called to check on you. They call you and say, hey, you wrote a check for that yet? Hey, man, this is due. Hey, well, you need all new tires. People just be calling me. I want good news just as much as the bad news. I'm telling you, I don't think, is it 10,000 miles on that car yet? On that on the Cayenne? Ooh, they saying you need all your new tires. That Porsche dealership. Dry rot been sitting too long? Yeah, that's true. That is true. But no, just because I drive it every once in a while. I drive it every couple of months. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's go into Trump, y'all. Trump. Trump is a little bit upset at Putin, and he's mad. He's mad about it. Let's have a conversation about it.
President Trump is lashing out at Vladimir Putin again today while issuing new threats against the Kremlin. Just moments ago in a social media post, he wrote, "What Putin doesn't realize is that if it weren't for me, lots of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. And I mean really bad. He's playing with fire." Sources tell CNN the president is now considering new sanctions on Moscow as he grows more frustrated over the Kremlin's escalating attacks on Ukraine. This is happening after another wave of Russian strikes overnight. They pounded numerous parts of the country, and Ukrainian officials say at least 2 people were killed and 16 were wounded. In the meantime, Moscow is blasting a decision by Germany and other Ukrainian allies, including the U.S., to lift a ban on firing long-range missiles into Russia. That's a move that allows Ukraine to strike military targets that are much deeper inside of Russia. It's a decision that the Kremlin is calling dangerous. CNN's Elena Treen is with us now from the White House. Elena, what are you learning about Trump's growing frustration with Putin?
Yeah, it's clear, Brianna, there really has been a shift in tone and rhetoric and also just private frustrations that the president is feeling when it relates to Russians, specifically Russian President Vladimir Putin. Look, I think it's clear that the president has so far been hesitant to put any sort of sanctions and pressure of sanctions and economic pressure really on Russia through this entire process, because privately he's noted that he believes that doing so could actually push Russia farther away from the negotiating table. Thus far, he's really been trying to do as much as he can to fulfill his campaign promise of bringing both Russia and Ukraine together to find some sort of off-ramp to this war and ultimately a ceasefire. But increasingly, both he and his closest advisors are recognizing that perhaps Putin is not necessarily living up to what he's been telling Trump behind closed doors. And people are growing increasingly unsure of whether or not he's actually ready to strike some real sort of deal to end this war with Ukraine. Because of that, we're learning now behind the scenes that he is considering potentially wanting to place sanctions on Russia and try to kind of up the ante with them and show President Putin that he's very serious about this. Of course, this comes as we know that many of the United States' European allies and even some people here in the United States, people like Senator Lindsey Graham, have really been pressuring and trying to influence this administration to do just that, to put sanctions on Russia and try to force their hand. Now, I do think it's very interesting to see how the president has been talking about these most recent attacks from Russia on Ukraine, because the way that the president put it, particularly in that Truth Social post today, when he said Putin doesn't realize that if it weren't for me, lots of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. He's saying that he thinks Putin has gone crazy. He said that this weekend in a separate post. I mean, it's clear that the president is starting to kind of lose patience with Russia. And I know from my conversations with several Trump administration officials that he really did believe that he would be able to make more progress at this point, just so many months now into his second term. And so really, I think the next few days are going to be pretty critical to learning whether or not the president is actually going to move forward and try to put this pressure of sanctions on Russia, or if he'll continue to kind of wait and see if he can still try to get any sort of deal with both of these countries to come together for an ultimate ceasefire.
One of the rare Trump misfires and one of the rare Trump missteps that we have to be objective. A lot of people don't think that I'm actually objective when it comes to politics and Trump. No, it's just that I think that he's just done such a phenomenal job at what he's promised to the American people that I don't disagree, and I'm not going to disagree with him just for the sake of disagreeing. But I have to be objective and I have to be real, and this is not a story that I'm going to avoid because I've been critical of the Trump administration for the entirety of the time that they have not solved for the problem of ending the war in Ukraine, because it's one of the things that he said that he was going to do. Now, I have given Trump grace as a content creator and not being overly critical, because I understand that it takes more than one person, and this is a complicated situation. And I also have not been as critical or not as vocal about the missteps of Trump because I think that he's done such a great job in all of the other things that he's promised, including being hard on migrants, getting these bills pushed through, several things that he's promised during the campaign that he said that he was going to do. And I will also give him credit in that it looks like he's really trying to solve for this war over in Ukraine and Russia. However, it is one of the rare Trump misfires in that he promised that he would have this done on day one, and we are almost 120 days into his administration, and he has not been able to solve it. I believe that Putin is playing Trump hard. And one of the reasons why Trump is seeing this, and I think that he's saying this on Truth Social and on social media, one of the reasons that I believe that he's being a lot more vocal instead of letting things play out behind the scenes and trying to negotiate a ceasefire is because Putin is trying to make him look bad. I believe that Putin is actually, from Russia, actually making the Trump administration look bad. His perfect presidency is kind of sort of at risk because if at some point in his first year in his administration, he does not end this war, then it kind of makes him look bad. Him saying that he would end the war in the first days of his administration makes him look bad because it makes it seem like he's not a man of his word, and more importantly, that he doesn't have as much control in the world as he said that he would. I believe that Putin is trying to embarrass Trump. 100%. And so Trump is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And again, this is my opinion. This is my personal opinion. Trump is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Why? Because he can't continue to supply or openly supply and help Ukraine as far as with military weapons and all of that. Because remember, they've already signed a mineral rights deal, so Ukraine is on board with ending the war, regardless of how I feel about how the war got started, because I was very critical of Ukraine and Zelensky in the first time that he came to the White House and that he was acting like a pompous asshole, right? And he is not innocent when it comes to the starting of this war between Russia and Ukraine, and it goes all the way back to the mid-90s, right? The relationship between Ukraine and Russia. NATO, joining NATO, all of these things, right? And so I've been very critical of Ukraine and them kidnapping people in order to put them on the front lines and the millions and the thousands of people that are dying in this war every single day. And then at the same time, I have to be objective enough to also call a spade a spade. There's a lot of people that were very critical of Zelensky when he showed up at the White House that's not continuing to have the conversation about how Vladimir Putin is still being a warmonger, even though there is a mineral rights deal signed, even though Zelensky has signed the paperwork, even though there is supposed to be a ceasefire sooner than later, even though we've labeled Russia and we haven't sanctioned them so far in the same way that we've sanctioned places like Iran. A lot of people are quiet and they're not being objective enough to have the conversation on both sides of the fence. It's a lot of people that's quiet. We got to have the conversation on both sides, including Fox News. Fox News, I'm not sure if Fox News is covering this in the same way that they was covering the whole Zelensky situation. I don't think that Fox News is covering this in the same way that they was covering the whole situation when Zelensky was at the White House making a fool of himself. We got to be objective on both sides. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is we got to call a spade, and it's okay to call it out when somebody is not on a national scale delivering on things, regardless of whether he could or he couldn't. He said it, and so we got to hold him accountable for it. That's all I'm saying. And again, I think that Trump has did a phenomenal job. Why do I need to apologize? I don't need to apologize about anything. I've been consistent the entire time about my willingness to be open and objective and call a spade when I see it. I think that Trump really wants to end this war. I don't think that he believes in war. I believe that Trump believes in doing good business and that he believes in a prosperous United States of America. But it's difficult now because you're stuck between a rock and a hard place and having to support Ukraine while at the same time saying that you want to end the war, and Putin is not playing fair. He's not playing by the same rules that you're playing by. He's not playing by the same rules that you're playing by. He playing street ball. You playing NBA ball. He playing at the Rucker. He playing in the backyard right now. He not playing on the national stage and in the league. He said you in prison right now. We playing prison rules.
Brianna.
Elena Treen, live for us at the White House. Thank you. Boris?
Let's talk about these latest developments with retired General Wesley Clark. He's a former NATO Supreme Allied Commander. General Clark, great to see you as always. With these stepped up attacks over recent days, what would you say is Russia's immediate objective on the battlefield?
Russia's main objective is to continue to pressure, try to break the government of Ukraine, break the will of the people to continue to resist. At the same time, it's pushing very hard in the north, in the center, and the ultimate objective, of course, is in the south to sweep across the coast of the Black Sea and take Odessa. And that's what their objective would be for, let's say, September, October, if they are successful in breaking through Ukrainian lines and drawing off the reserves into the north.
What would you say are the practical implications of having Germany and other Ukrainian allies lift these restrictions on Kyiv to fire long-range missiles into Russia for the first time? Could that slow down the Russian advance?
I think the lifting of the restrictions is an important signal psychologically. I think it's also marginally important, provided the United States is providing the intelligence to accurately target these long-range strikes. How many they are, what the inventory is, and what the impact it remains to be seen. But the way to make a greater impact is to surge more U.S. artillery in.
Let me make sure that I get some control in room 9 in here, because obviously we got some new people that's not aware of the rules. All right, the rules is not to be overly disrespectful, to just be reasonable as an adult and being able to communicate. We don't censor people, we don't block people, and we don't prevent people from being able to communicate effectively what their thoughts are, especially if you disagree. There's plenty of people in the chat right now that disagree with a lot of what I say, and we do not block them. We let them get their shit off. We cool with that. We don't have no problem with that whatsoever. But y'all gonna have to make sure that you know how to communicate effectively. If a mod times you out and says go sit in the corner, that means you said something overly egregious about somebody or you was overly disrespectful. Come on, man. We too grown. We adults. Everybody can say what they want to say, but it doesn't mean that you can be overly disrespectful. Just be mindful. Disagree, but disagree like you got some sense. That's all we saying. I shouldn't have to remind y'all of that.
Small arms and the other items that Ukraine desperately needs right now.
The administration so far has floated the idea of additional sanctions, and there is a bipartisan bill in the Senate proposing a 500% tariff on any country that is buying Russian energy right now. Do you see that financial disincentive as enough to sway Vladimir Putin toward the negotiating table?
Seems unlikely that that kind of a tariff can go in effectively against countries like India and Gulf states who are involved in directly or indirectly in the Russian oil trade. But it's an important step, and it's very important for the president at this point, after 5 to 6 weeks of expressing frustration and threatening sanctions, to move ahead and do something. So whether it's that particular set of sanctions or something else, it's very important at this time that he take concrete action. This is not going to harm the prospect of negotiations. It's going to incentivize them.
Joanne Butcher says, I am not going to hold Trump accountable for war that has nothing to do with America. I understand what you're saying. You're saying that he wasn't the one that was at the helm when the war started. And I give you that. I think that two things can be true at the same time. At the same time, he promised something. He said that he would end the war. And objectively, I think that Trump is really, really, really trying to end the war. He's trying to do what's best for America. I think that he has been absolutely great in his presidency so far and the minimal amount of time that he's been in office. But we have to just be objective enough to say that this is what he said, but he hasn't been able to deliver it yet. Do I think that he's going to be able to deliver it? 100%. Has he done it thus far? He has not. He has not. That's just the truth. It's just the truth. Could he be held accountable for a war that he didn't start? No. But can he be held accountable for what he said? Absolutely, 100%. Objectively, 100%. I don't believe that anybody is going to be 100% right 100% of the time. This is one of his rare missteps, and it's okay to say that it was a misstep. It's okay to say that it was a misstep. Doesn't mean that he's not a great president. Doesn't mean that he's not delivering on 98% of everything that he promised. But this is a big deal, and this is something that we have to be honest about. We got to be real. We just got to keep it 100. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that at all. So, got to keep it 100. Got to keep it 100. I don't think that if you want to say anything, then you could say, well, he shouldn't have promised that he'd haven't done on day one. He shouldn't have promised that he would have it done on day one. If you're going to say it, right? Let me read some of the super chats and then we're going to go from there. St. Louis got the best barbecue, standing on that. You think so? 392Q? Chat. Does St. Louis have the best? Where's the best barbecue? Where's the best barbecue at, y'all? What city has the best barbecue? Where can I go get some ribs? Where do I have to fly to get the best ribs? I agree, Courtney Kelson. Somebody said Texas is a big place. You got to give me a city. Give me a city, Jody. Kansas City, Texas, Houston, Carolina barbecue. St. Louis, North Carolina, Texas, Alabama. Alabama? Definitely not Chicago. Take them off a list. Hutchings, barbecue in Frisco and Dallas. Texas, hands down. Kansas City, St. Louis, Florida. So wait a minute. Y'all saying Memphis? Y'all not even saying Memphis in Texas, Dallas, Lexington, North Carolina. Kansas City, best barbecue, St. Louis. That's why it's St. Louis ribs, Anton. So y'all saying don't go, but y'all told me not to go to St. Louis. Some people are saying Austin, Memphis, St. Louis, and Kansas. Y'all told me not to go to St. Louis, though. Y'all said don't go to St. Louis. So what y'all want me to do? 392Q says St. Louis got the best barbecue. I'm standing on that. He said he's standing on that. Miss Freckles says Kansas City has the best barbecue. Sir, you're welcome. Kansas City? Kansas City? Eric Welfare says if AD take a flight on Spirit, he gonna crash out. Shell Shock says go to Corky's in Memphis. That dry rub is fire. With that Alabama white barbecue sauce, Memphis in May is over with, though. Come to the Carolinas for barbecue and be careful in Memphis. YNs is on the loose. Y'all making me scared to go to Memphis. St. Louis for barbecue might have a little debris in it, though. Deltray Rex says if some Democratic people are in Putin's ear to keep chaos going since Trump has been in office. Nah, I don't think that's it. Anu says Biggie said it best. More money, more problems. Love your content. Will you be going on the Fresh and Fit so soon? I think I'm going to be in Miami on Fresh and Fit in July. So we're going to work that out. We working it out. Jesse Fee says I'll be telling people I start my day in room 9. Yeah. Promises are meant to be broken, says Dondre. Brandon Nicholson says best barbecue is in Kansas City. Everybody's saying Kansas City. What? They saying Texas and Kansas City. People ain't even saying Memphis. Carolina has them. And Carolina. Carolina has the most diverse taste and different than the rest. Everybody else is a copycat of another. Oh, okay. All right. Y'all making this a little difficult on me now, all right? Making it a little difficult on me. Memphis and Texas, Missouri. Memphis has the best barbecue. What? All right, I guess it's a fight. We might continue this on After Hours tomorrow night. All right? Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications. Let's talk about welfare. food stamps, social services, EBT, WIC, women and children. Women are crying on the intranet saying, oh my God, I can't believe that Trump is making changes to welfare and food stamps. This is basically some of the conversation. Let me turn it to pink. Y'all got any pink in here? There we go. Pink, 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 pink. Women are crying, pink, purple. Women are crying about the welfare system. Oh my God, I can't believe the Trump administration. I can't believe that they're not letting us go ahead and be able to do what we want to do. Hold on, did I do that right? Let me make sure I did that right. Let me make sure I did that right. Like that. There we go. All right, let's get to it.
So Trump and his administration has passed a bill to where junk food can't be bought with EBT. And hey, don't get me wrong. I understand a lot of people do abuse it. That's understandable. Here is the thing. To eat healthy and organic is very expensive. So if you got a family that only get $500 and you want them to eat organic and healthy, they're not going to get a lot of food that lasts them throughout the month because the prices are so expensive. So if they're going to do that, I think they need to go after these companies that are charging an arm and a leg for organic or healthy food. Like, that's crazy to be healthy.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that logic. I've never understood that. Where did y'all get that from? Who said that it was more expensive to eat healthier? It's expensive to be poor. Let me finish what she got to say.
It costs so much. Even when we go to the store, a bottle of water, $4, $5 for a bottle of water.
Where? Where y'all at? Disney World buying your water? Okay, hold on. Where do they do a bottle of water for $4 and $5? Y'all know where they selling bottles of water for $4 and $5? You can go and buy water in bulk. You can go and get a filtration system. Hold on, wait. Why don't you go and get a pure water or whatever one of them things is? You can go and get the big old gallon of jugs and go to Walmart and fill up the whole pure water or whatever, where you can go and trade it back and forth, and then you can go and get a new one. Okay, hold on. I'm honestly, I'm just curious. Where are they doing bottles of water for $5? Regular bottles of water is $5 at the grocery store? Lucky says a 32 pack at Walmart is $4. Costco has water for 25 cents. You can get a case. I don't think I've ever seen no water for $5. I don't think that I've ever seen going to Kroger, going to Publix, going to Walmart, going to Costco, going to Sam's Club, and you buying a bottle of water for $5. I've never seen that before. Y'all be exaggerating, trying to make it seem like it's worse than it really is. Y'all going to the concert and buying water for that.
Water should be a bottle of water, like single bottle of water, should be like 50 cents because it's healthy. But then you can go outside of Walmart and get a can of soda for 50 cents.
Where can you go get a can of soda for 50 cents? You know what? It's a lot of misinformation that's happening out here. What she's basically trying to do is trying to convince us that the Trump administration should not restrict unhealthy foods when it comes to food stamps because it's costing more and children will be affected, in which they will go hungry if they can't get unhealthy foods. This is why we make decisions on y'all behalf. She's trying to tell us that it costs more to eat healthy. Do y'all hear what they saying? This is why they needed RFK inside of the White House. They're trying to convince y'all that y'all need to be feeding y'all kids trash with taxpayer money. Y'all need to be going feeding y'all kids trash with taxpayer money. This is so backwards. This is so backwards. I watched a video the other day of a woman that basically said that she got over $1,000 in food stamps a month, and she showed what she buys. All she bought was pop, ramen, like, all packaged products. Nothing was something that you cook from scratch. None of it was nothing that you cook from scratch. I don't even think that most women know how to cook from scratch no more, to be honest with you. I don't think that most women can cook from scratch no more. Bro, you can get like 4 bananas. You can get like 4 bananas for the cost of 1 bag of chips. Bananas is super cheap. You can go get an apple. It's super cheap. Just say that your kids has been conditioned to not be able to look at food the same way. So they can go and get some Flamin' Hot Cheetos, but they can't go get a banana. But we supposed to pay for it from a taxpayer's perspective? Nah, dog. Nope.
And then they wonder why Americans are big and Americans are unhealthy, and America's like, it's a lot of fat people over here compared to other countries, because other countries food and produce are like damn near organic. It's like,
this is
you know
stupid.
what I'm saying, way fresher and healthier than our food. But I'm gonna mind my business.
And this is the sentiment. This is the conversations that's happening on social media about food and food stamps. This one was a little bit more reasonable, I believe.
Okay, so I was looking at a YouTube video a while ago, and they said that the Trump administration is going to crack down on what people can buy with food stamps, and also they're going to crack down on the budget. I'm going to say this. This is my opinion, and I ain't finna cut nobody's feelings and nothing in this. If you are disabled, meaning that you are unable to work, you're on SSI or whatever, you are in poverty level, you deserve to get food stamps or some kind of supplement to your income so that you can help buy food, because food is high. Number 2,
hold on, let me
if
back
you're
that
one
up.
of these girls out here,
let me back that up for a minute.
SSI or whatever, you are in poverty level, you deserve to get food stamps or something people can buy with food stamps. And also they're going to crack down on the budget. I'm going to say this. This is my opinion, and I ain't finna cut nobody's feelings and nothing in this. If you are disabled,
okay,
meaning that you are unable to work, you're on SSI or whatever, you are in poverty level, you deserve to get food stamps or some kind of supplement to your income so that you can help buy food, because food is high.
So if you disabled and messed up, then you should get food stamps. I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I'm with it. I don't have no problem with what she said in her statement. I'm cool with that.
Number 2, if you're one of these girls out here that's having babies every year or every 2 years and say that you are building a family and you are still classified as at the poverty level, meaning that you are getting federal assistance for your housing, meaning hoods, you're getting child support, you're getting child care vouchers and all of that shit so your kids can actually go to school. You're getting $1,000 to $1,500 a month in federal food stamps so that you can feed your kids, and you lay around on your ass and on your back every day and suck and fuck and keep mess up and stroll on the internet on your free Wi-Fi. I want you to know that I don't give a damn. And they say, oh, well, what about the children? These people didn't even care about their own children. For one, you're already poor. You're already in poverty. Why do you keep on having kids? They have free child family planning. They have free birth control, free
Now don't go to them
condoms
classes.
at the health department and y'all still keep having babies so y'all can lock down a man or so y'all can stay on federal assistance. I don't give a motherfucker if they cut you down to $50 a month. Your ass should work 4 jobs to feed them kids. That'll
I agree.
stop your ass from having all them children knowing you can't fucking feed them. And they say, well, if they give us food stamps, they should
She
not be
cooking. I
able
like
to
her.
tell us what to buy with that, and my children ain't gonna eat that. Your children have been programmed to eat junk because you don't cook. Your children have been programmed to go in there and eat Hot Pockets for breakfast and Cheerios and sweet cereal and all that bullshit that's later on going to give them heart disease and diabetes. And then you want to know why they act like they ain't in their right mind jumping all over, because it's the proper foods that you're not giving your kids.
She cooking.
If you're going to get federal assistance, meaning that you're going to get money from the government, meaning the taxpayers' money, they should have a choice in what you are feeding your family. And if you don't want to do that, then you should get off your lazy ass and get you a job. That's my...
I might have to get her on the show. I like her. She talking that talk. Get your lazy butt off of federal assistance and go and get you a job. If most women were not incentivized, man, honestly, I believe that previous administrations and the federal government is what kept y'all on this prison pipeline and what kept y'all on this hospital pipeline to make sure that they continue to keep the economy rolling. And I think this is unfortunate that you chose to jump on the bandwagon. I look at the same thing as black culture. I look at the same thing as trash white culture. I look at the same thing as all of this stuff. All of this stuff, you're choosing to jump on a train of destruction to ride through the hood and to feed your children. Y'all keep telling me, oh man, ADHD on the rise. How? So we're becoming more technologically advanced, but your kids is more retarded than ever. How? How is it on the rise? That don't even make no sense. Oh man, I seen a one. You know what I'm seeing a trend of, and it's disgusting. I'm seeing a trend of women online. This is the new thing. I'm telling you, it's gonna be in your algorithm now that I said it. Your phone can hear me. Women are saying that they're giving up their kids because they're too unruly and they've been diagnosed with this or they've been diagnosed with that. So then they start describing the symptoms and they say, well, yeah, she's so unruly. She can't control herself. She causes a disturbance every time she goes outside. She hits other people's dogs. She slaps her sister in the face for no reason. Oh, I know how to solve for that. I know how to solve for that. Where's my strap? I don't need a strap. Okay, you know what? I know how to strong for that. Listen, black fatigue is a real thing. Black fatigue is a real thing. But the one thing I do know that black people do know what they're doing, the old school ones, not these new parents. These new parents believe in gentle parenting. They've been doing the white thing. The reason why a lot of black kids is so fucked up is because y'all decided that y'all wanted to embrace the degenerate white people's way of raising their kids. You know, the kids that be in the store like, mommy, I hate you. Slap your mama in the face. That's what you decided to do. You decided that you wanted to get rid of the father so there's no masculinity, because that way ain't nobody got to be accountable to nobody inside of the house, and that you wanted to do gentle parenting. Yeah. I know how to fix that. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I know how to fix that. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Oh, you believe in all of the Bible except for that verse. That verse ain't applicable. No person should ever discipline a child. You should be able to talk to them until they slap you in your face and give you a bloody nose. Now, I'm going to take you out before the system take you out. Don't worry about it. The system ain't got to worry about you. We ain't going to have taxpayer dollars giving you 3 hots in a cot. The reason why them inmates The reason why the inmates is in the jail system and is escaping right now is because they didn't have none of this. I can't go and get my pants right now because I got a nice leather strap on that joint that'll fix all of your children's problems. Oh, no. Your kids, trust me. My parents had a history of fixing the children in the neighborhood. So many different children whose lives were saved that they parents wasn't doing it, and then they would come over our house, they already knew. They treated their parents different than they treated my parents. They still call my mother Miss Daniels. Hey, Mom. They call her Mom. Hey, Mom. Because if we got a whooping, you getting a whooping. And the one thing that my parents would say is, listen, either you going to take this whooping or you can't come back over here. Don't ever come back over here. You can't play basketball in the backyard. Don't come over. Don't hang out. When all of the rest of the kids, when we go to Cedar Point, you can't. They put their head down. Kids are smart. And they liked it. You know what's the most fun? They liked that whooping. They liked that somebody cared about them. They liked that somebody disciplined them. They wanted to be a part of the get a whooping crew. Now, we hated it because that's the way that we was raised. Oh, nigga, what you doing? Whenever you would fight, you fight. That's when we would fight. When we fought as children, we fought silently. Nigga, don't be. Why you being so loud? Mama gonna hear us. You know, nigga, why? Oh, so you gonna say something loud so mama can hear you? Nigga, take your L. So we would fight. We would fight real silent because we knew that when mama heard, oh shit, put your hands on that bed and you better not move. And if you yell, you gonna get another lick. Little neighborhood kid, he acting like he don't want, okay, don't come back. Or put your hands on that bed too. Neighborhood here, he put his hands on it. You ever got a whooping that was so hard that it made your back, it wasn't that your back was itching, but you nursing your wound in real time. You ain't never had that type of whooping. That's why your kids is bad, because you keep gentle. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, I'm going to be a better kid and lock the door. You keep singing songs. I got something for that. Got something for that. Uh-huh. I got something for that. Keep on feeding y'all kids sugar. It's too expensive to buy bananas. Somebody in the chat, I seen y'all. Somebody said, you can't eat bananas if you diabetic. Nigga, you ate bananas before you ate hot Cheetos before you became diabetic. You was eating hot, you ate all, so it was cool for you to eat the Coca-Cola, Sprite. They marketed it to y'all. Crooked Eye, you grew up wanting to drink 40 ounces like the dope heads, the dope fiends on the corner. I don't know if y'all remember, they used to have this drink called Crooked Eye. Crooked Eye was an offshoot from St. Ives. So St. Ives was the malt liquor. Crooked Eye was the gateway to the malt liquor, and it was like a drink. It was like a sugary drink. Crooked Eye was the below 18 version of St. Ives. A lot of people don't even know about Crooked Eyes. People don't even know about that. Yeah, belt cure Alzheimer's. It cured Alzheimer's, dementia. It cures the belt cures a lot of things. St. Ives. Yep. I got you. This ain't a plastic hanger. This is a metal hanger. It's got metal in the inside that run through it, and then it's got an outlier that's on it, a suede outlier. This is good for hanging clothes and whooping kids. That's what it's good for. That's what it's good for. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. I ain't gonna lie to you. No more food stamps. The goal is to get off food stamps, y'all. And I'm not just talking to black people. Black people are the ones that's complaining about it on the most. White people, get off food stamps. You're becoming a nuisance on this country. White people in rural America, no more food stamps for you. Let me say it again for the people in the back. I know y'all think y'all gonna lean on black fatigue for the whole summer, but you're not. Black fatigue is black fatigue. White people, get off food stamps. You're breaking the country in half. Y'all the ones that's on food stamps the most. You're messing up the money. Gertrude, I see y'all. I see how poor y'all be in y'all cities. Keep on thinking just because you jack your pickup truck up on way in the air that makes you better. No, come on down. That's a $4,000 car with shocks, springs, struts, and bad exhaust, and you keep on polluting the air. That should have been traded in for cash for clunkers when Obama was in office. Somebody says nothing wrong with food stamps. No, it is something wrong with food stamps. Listen, we used to be ashamed to have food stamps if you went to the store because the goal was to not be on food stamps. When did it be cool? When did it become cool? Y'all just like dope fiends. Y'all just like the most neighborhood rappers. It used to not be cool to be a drug fiend. Now it's cool to publicly show that you a dope fiend in real life. I shoot up heroin, not a big deal. Everybody's shooting it up. You can always tell if you in the poor white community. Why? You're going to see a lot of pickup trucks high in the air. Blowing black smoke. They may run the exhaust through the truck bed to where they can't even put nothing in the truck bed no more. He got a cut-off sleeve vest. It's a swamp thing cut off the sleeve vest, and he got a trucker hat on, and he's going through. You want to go mudding? No, nigga, that's poor people activity. I don't go mudding. I go sledding. Just because you raise your truck up don't mean that you're not poor. You still poor. Get off social services. No more food stamps for you. Get dog. He's blowing black smoke, brick dog. Everybody getting off food stamps. Keep crippling the country. Going to go mudding? No. I don't want to go. I don't want to go mudding. Always missing several teeth back here. This whole row. White people. Let me tell you something about white people. About white people that don't want to get off food stamps. They don't have a tooth here missing and a tooth down here missing. It'd be a row. It'd be 3 teeth, and then it'd be 7 teeth. And then it'd be 2 teeth and 5 right here. And always chewing tobacco, thinking that they can play baseball. Can I get some Skoal? Love cigarettes. Never seen people so dedicated to smoking cigarettes in my life than poor white people. Cigarettes is out of style, bro. It's out. Cigarettes is out of style. Y'all don't have permission to use black fatigue. If you're a poor white person, you can't use black fatigue, okay? That is only reserved for people that are contributing members of the society, and that is not, you cannot use black fatigue. Black fatigue is a thing, but you can't use it if you are on government assistance. you can't use it because it doesn't matter how much you behave yourself in public. I still got to pay for you to feed your grandmother. Black fatigue is for people, black or white, that is tired of a certain community of people perpetuating a certain narrative that is celebrated in black culture. But you can't do it until you get off of government assistance. Until you're no longer needing welfare and food stamps, you can't use the word. Because that means that you're not a sufficient member of society yet. That's all I'm saying. Put the skull down. Always in the hospital complaining. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. Let me read some of these super chats and then we go. Let me read some of these super chats and we're going to go. Everybody got to be held accountable. Nobody is above accountability. Nobody is above accountability. And if they real hip, they wear Jordan brand shoes. Team Jordans. The black ones, the black hood dudes, they wear Nike Tech Fits. The white dudes that think that they hood, they wear Team Jordans. Watch out for the ones that wear Team Jordans. They something else. They are something else. I don't trust no white man that got on Team Jordans. That's the equivalent of wearing black Air Force Ones, big dog. Nope. Not going for it. Yeah, smoking cigarettes is out of style. It's a war with barbecue between Kansas City and St. Louis. So y'all saying Texas is out of that? Texas is out of there? They were Team Jordans with bedazzled FUBU shorts. They always got on blue jean shorts that come below the knee. And they wear their hat to the side like this. Oh, their number one goal in life is to be a poker player. I want to be a full-time poker player. I'm going to make it to the big leagues. I'm going to make it a World Series poker, buddy. Man, if you don't put my fries in the bag and stop playing, man, if you don't put my fries in the bag and stop playing, bro, keep on trying to make it to the World Series of poker. And their girlfriends always mess with black dudes. Always stealing liquor out of Walmart. Oh, man. Let me go ahead and figure this out. Unreal. What else we got going on in here? Shout out to my dog Ash. Ash says mainstream news not telling the entire story. Alternative news sources reported Zelensky tried to assassinate Putin with a drone strike, and it's all over the web. Really? I'm gonna have to deep dive into that. People pay $400 for a hairstyle and complain about $5. You know what it is. Nate says people really need to start victory gardens in their hoods. Every home plant something different. There are ways to offset food costs, but you need a community. Oh, you can forget that, big dog. Orlando Williams in the building. What up, O? Says, Cap, organic ain't that expensive. I agree. Alan Trent says, I like to see you take the same amount of money, go to a store and purchase what they're saying is too expensive. Bet you can't do it. I'm rich. I bet I can't do it either. I don't look at the number when I go to the store. I don't look at the amount when I don't even go to the grocery store. I Instacart. What you talking about? Why you always daring me to do regular people stuff? I'm not a regular person. You know how much the studio cost me to build? Do this look like a regular person's studio? Do I look like I'm streaming out of my basement? What do you mean bet I can't do it? I bet I can't do it either. I just put it in the cart. And I tell you to put the fries in the bag. Think, what are you talking about? Yeah, I bet I can't do it either. Why are you daring me to do something that you know I'm not going to do? You know I'm not going to the grocery store to shop. First of all, I got too many barriers to entry to be out here shopping. I got a wife. I got Instacart. I got all kind of stuff. I'm not doing that. I got two assistants. I got two assistants, bro. You think I'm about to go to the grocery store and try to calculate the cost of what it, man, get out of here with that. I bet you can't. I bet you I won't too. I bet you I won't. Jack Covington says, AD, I own a Kangen water ionizer, and it's a game changer. I also sell them. I can send you some info. Great investment. Okay, send me the information on my email. Anton Daniels 413@gmail.com. I watched a video where a lady tried to pay for her food at a restaurant with an EBT card. I agree with restrictions and rules on government assistance. Shout out to Spaces. That dude Ray, shout out to that dude Ray, says, even with food stamps, a lot of these chicks aren't cooking for these kids anyway, let alone a balanced or healthy meal. So this is once again just fake rage. Facts. Boosted 5.0 says, get you some rice and beans, frozen vegetables, and a pack of meat, all nutrients met with leftovers. Junk food is a luxury. I agree. Purple Haze says, it's no excuse not to know how to cook, especially when you can go search on these platforms that you're already on. If Kaya can, you can too. KB in the building. Shout out to KB. KB says a bushel of bananas for $2. If you don't eat them all in time, you can mash them up with $2 worth of flour, sugar, and vanilla and make banana bread. People be lazy in their kitchen. Oh, talk that talk. I like that. Night Jade says welfare is used like reparations. They owe us. I see you. Tia Marie says, as a president of the Millionaire Morning Show Health and Wellness Committee, we're not falling for this tomfoolery. No more Takis, Cheetos, and hot pickles. I agree, Tia Marie. Long Way ENT says, why are poor people trying to buy Fiji water? Fiji don't even cost that much per bottle. Oh, no, not the hanger. Shout out to Chase. Twyla Sanford says, system equals controlled. I am Twyla from Tampa, Florida, by the way. Okay. All right, so you're not that Twyla. I thought you was Twyla from the hood. Twyla from the hood was baddie. She's a little different. Tavi says, I come from whooping ass era kids respected. Talk about it. We're not playing no games. Rick, H-Town hit so hard, made me go mute. Dondre says, that belt cure Alzheimer's too. Facts. Corey P says, man, I got caught sneaking a girl in the house in middle school and mama came home and got a 2x4 out the trunk and beat my A, and step pop snitched on me. Dang, you had a step baby daddy? 392Q says, I heard it's a belt hanging on room 9 door. It absolutely is. George, just for sentimental reasons. George Everett says she absolutely cooking. I wonder how many women on a hate her for spitting facts. For your information, I was a crooked-eyed drinker in my day. See? You know what it is. Alan Trent says, if the whoopings were that effective, how are we at the current situation? Because you never got them. You never got them. If you was or are on food stamps, mean your family was not productive out here, period. Champion Chuck says, time for these heifers to cook. Stop making kids for tax reasons or tax refunds. Hope this will bring family into our communities where discipline is needed. Jamaica is in the building, says, Wagwan, don't forget me with the black t-shirt link. I got you. Devastator says, then they be on that oxygen tank from smoking. Moses King says, AD, one time I got whooped with a wet pair of jeans and it felt like Zeus himself was throwing lightning bolts at me. Eric Williams says, what's good, Anti? Look here. The majority of women that's complaining about welfare being cut is big, sloppy lice in the head, no shoes wearing down the street Becky. And I've seen both white women and black women do it. Yo, AD, I sent you an email too, fam. All right, I got you, Courtney. Shout out to my dog Slimmy. Slimmy says, if the grocery store had a Balmain boutique inside, Anton would be first in line. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. Oh, that was fun. I had one more subject, but we approaching the 3-hour mark, so you know, I try to keep it. I try to be minimal. Try to take care of business. I appreciate y'all. Oh, I also want to say thank y'all for getting us to over 80,000 subscribers on After Hours. Clemmy got some graphics that he put together. I got to post that. Thank y'all for getting us to over 80,000 on After Hours. That's my channel that I'm focused on. You know, I go through these phases where I focus more on one channel more than I do the others with love. I've been really focused on After Hours because for whatever reason, I'm just really focused on trying to get that channel to 100,000. Got to do that for the crew, and then we're gonna really refocus on focus on Darth Anton. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for getting us over to 80. It was awesome. All right, y'all. Back into the mire. We got to get back into the grind, hustle. Let's go get it. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.